Let's get it. All right, folks, it is January 22nd, 2026, and we are going to run up a live show tonight. We appreciate you for stopping by. As we titled the live tonight, BlackRock, BNY, formerly known as BNY Mellon, now they're just BNY, and Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, saying that we're going to a new all-time high this year. They are all bullish. And so I am asking the chat tonight, how could you possibly not be bullish? What inside scoop do you have? What data are you looking at? Why would you possibly be bearish right now when we have the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, the oldest bank in the United States of America, BNY, and the new reserve currency here, XRP, with our builders and leaders, Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple, also reminding us that we need to still stay bullish and that we are not pricing in the U.S. market unlock. And so my question to the chat tonight is, why on God's green earth would you still be bearish right now? And one asset that you definitely cannot be bearish on right now would be our precious metals, silver and gold, up to $100 for one of these little coins. And it's funny, I went into my local dealer today. I hadn't been in quite some time. I bought all of this from my local dealer, and I bought it under $30 per ounce. All of my silver I acquired at about $25. You tack on the premium, and it was all between $25 and $30. I never paid over $30 per ounce for my silver. Some of you guys got in a long time before me. And it's incredible. There's so many lessons for us to learn from silver, even if you don't hold it and you're sick of hearing about silver. And hearing about silver having a pump triggers you. First off, you need to respect the pump. Second off, there's some lessons in there, which is 11, almost 12 years of this asset trading under $30 for one of these coins. In fact, I picked up these. They were under $300. Now this bar is worth $1,000. And we knew it was coming, this moment for silver. But the silver stackers would tell me that they knew it was coming for decades before me, because I was late to precious metals. But there's a lesson in there, especially for our crypto community, which is expecting to 5x or 10x their money every time you buy some crap coin. And we really got to put this into perspective right now. Maybe it's time to ditch the crap, bring it back to utility, bring it back to fundamentals. This is a focus on XRP and other utility digital assets that actually solve a problem, that are going to run the new financial system. It's okay if you have a bag of crap. I got a couple of those coins as well too, and I deserve the beating that I'm taking on my bag of Doge, that I'm taking on some of my XRP meme coins. That's what I get. The market is doing a good job of teaching us that lesson. And there's a lesson to learn for the silver stackers. God bless all of you for stacking up God's money. In this crazy world that we live in, the one thing that makes sense right now is God's money. Gold and silver being at new all-time highs, folks. Take a look at it. Let's go right to silver. 99. This thing was trading at about $100 per ounce. Incredible to watch this rally. Just an incredible move for silver. Just in the past year, this thing was down at $30 per ounce in April. Had that pullback down below 30 after the April tariffs. And you not only double up your money, you triple up your money as we trade above $90 per ounce on the silver. Now we're taking a look real quick. Nothing crazy happening right now on oil. That's trading under $60 per barrel. And then where did my gold go? Let's pull it up right now. Our gold is also trading at a new all-time high, and that would be 4,960. So we're seeing an incredible move right now on the precious metals, pushing $5,000 per ounce on gold, $100 per ounce on silver, and it's just getting me so excited to head on up to Vancouver, to that Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, where we're going to be looking at more investment opportunities. You would be mistaken if you think that this channel is just about XRP. It's always been about a lot more than XRP. From folks telling me to stick to crypto, bro. because we would venture off into talking about current events or politics as it related to our investments. I'm not here to be a political commentator. I don't listen to political commentary, but I do want to understand what's happening in that current events and political landscape so that I can see how it's going to impact my investments, my business, and my family. Speaking of stupidity from our politicians here in the great state of Washington, we just implemented a sales tax on precious metals. And so on top of that, you also have a B&O tax. And so I went into my local dealer today to get some feedback and ask him how business has been. He said he had a line out the door, 30 customers deep, during the month of December, as people were rushing in to buy precious metals in our state before they implemented this sales tax, which tax on about 9.1% where I'm at. And in some other areas that can be even a little bit more, but around 9% additional sales tax added to your precious metals. Just another way that we lack a little bit of common sense here in the great state of Washington. And so, it just highlights the necessity of understanding hard assets, why we're stacking precious metals, why we're paying attention and going to do so great in real estate. So excited for that. Continue to outperform with our digital assets, focusing on utility. What were the best performers after President Trump got elected? Whether you like him, whether you hate him, what were the best performers? How do you change your trajectory for your family, your life, your business, and your investments? Understanding these fundamentals, and it's paying off now with silver at $100 per ounce, gold at $5,000 per ounce, and XRP trading at $2. I know it hurts for some people that bought the top last year, but please understand that we're well below fundamental value, so there's no problem there. If you loved XRP at $3 or $3.60, you should absolutely be in love with it at $2, and what a sale and what an opportunity. And even for those of us that stacked all of our XRP under 50 cents, we still love it up at $2. I just bought yesterday $1.88. Thank you very much. Put it in my bag. We're going to take that. Thank you very much. And so these investments have fundamentally changed our lives. And the best part about it is we still have a long ways to go. So if you're new here, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks for joining me on this journey. You guys make this so fun for me. I love this work. I don't even consider it work. We do this every single day. And I just wanted to let everybody know, please, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to see what our schedule is going to look like next week. But I did tell you guys that at the end of this month that we were going to stop doing the Tuesday, Thursday live shows because we're getting here to the finish line. We got baby number 3 on the way. What do we stack up? We stack our precious metals. We stack our XRP and utility digital assets. And we do stack up some children too. God bless it. God bless. That's God's money right there if I have ever seen it. God bless them. And so with baby number 3 on the way, schedule's just compressed. It's so tight. And so we're so focused on our work, but also finding time to do the regular live shows might be thrown off a little bit here. So not going to promise or guarantee the Tuesday, Thursday live shows for next week and into next month. So just make sure that you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates, because I might be going live in the middle of the night for all I know. We're still going to be hopping on here every single day. We're not going to stop that. It's just setting aside, the hour, 2 hour long live shows every week. We're not going to commit to that, as I try to do my best to be a supporting father and husband to my rock star wife, who's bringing in baby number 3 right now. But guys, God bless it. Just feeling so grateful right now for life, family, business, and how well our investments are doing, and the upside that's right around the corner for us as well too. So let's talk about it. As I pose the question here to our audience tonight, BlackRock, BNY, and Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse are all bullish. Why would you not be? Right? What information do you have? Are you smarter than BlackRock, than Brad Garlinghouse, than BNY? Do you have different information? What's the alpha here? Because it's just incredible to me. We covered it in this morning's update. Retail sentiment is down below in an extreme fear buy signal level for retail sentiment in the XRP community. Every single time we get there, it presents an incredible buying opportunity. I'm taking advantage of it. The institutions are taking advantage of it. And I hope to God that you are as well, folks. This thing is absolutely going to be off to the races with Russell 2000 showing you what's coming next in its market breadth. It's an expansion. It's not just going to be the Magnificent Seven. We're going to be looking at other assets, other small cap stocks. You're going to be looking at an alt season finally coming back around for cryptocurrency. Russell 2000 hitting another new all-time high today. The DXY was down today. Okay, big hit on the DXY today. So the dollar is weakening, gold and silver strengthen, and cryptocurrency is holding in right now as we speak. Bitcoin at 89.8. XRP $1.91. I bought the dip yesterday at $1.88. Thank you very much. We picked it up and we added to our position. Now let's get right on into the update, guys. I am just streaming to YouTube tonight. No stream to X. And I'm really hoping that the aliens don't come up and scoop me up and end the stream like they did last Tuesday. I don't know what's been going on with my streams lately, but it appears they've been under attack. And so we're just going to stream to YouTube tonight. Hopefully the message is coming through loud and clear. And let's get right on into the update. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Experts say Germany's gold is not safe with Trump. They're going to be selling off our treasuries. They're going to be repatriating their precious metals. Even here back home, you're seeing that this administration is making silver and other resources critical minerals. And this gets very interesting, right? Because if you don't own it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, just like our good friend Lynette Zhang says. And so we want to secure these assets. You want to have them in self-custody. You want to have them in institutional grade custody that's bankruptcy remote. That's what we do. We have it in cold storage. We have it at Caleb and Brown, institutional grade custody. Or our sponsor, I Trust Capital, institutional grade custody, right? And when it comes to what we're watching in these markets right now, all eyes on the Bank of Japan interest rate decision that's going to be coming out later tonight. After we wrap up this live show, we should be getting the interest rate from the Bank of Japan. And the consensus expectation is that they're actually going to leave rates unchanged. But what's been happening, right? The bond market has been blowing up. And so we've seen a big sell-off in the Japanese bonds, big sell-off in the U.S. bonds and treasuries. And this brought in significant volatility in a pullback earlier this week. Now, Kobayashi Letter says, liquidity in Japan's government bond market is collapsing. The JGB liquidity index jumped to 9.5 points on Tuesday, indicating the worst liquidity conditions on record. This index has doubled over the last 12 months. Conditions in the $7.6 trillion bond market have deteriorated materially since 2022, as bond yields have experienced one of the most dramatic increases in history. This comes as the Bank of Japan has significantly reduced its bond purchases, while Japanese life insurers have sold a record amount. Meanwhile, foreign investors now reflect about 65% of monthly cash bond transactions, up from just 12% in 2009. These investors have much shorter holding periods than traditional domestic buyers, increasing volatility. Japan's bond market is on the edge of a full-blown liquidity crisis. We've been talking about it. What's my saying been? Debt, currency, and liquidity crisis, the trifecta, the bad trifecta. Same thing back home in the United States of America. U.S. Treasury buys back another $2 billion of their own debt. That makes $4.8 billion over the last 2 days. If you guys haven't already, please help us out by liking this video, sharing it out far and wide. And I do appreciate you guys for stopping by tonight. We had the first crypto IPO of the year. BitGo went live. I think it was a $20 billion valuation. And just please remember that when these things go IPO, you're getting exit liquidity from the early investors, those that bought it when it was a private company. Those that are at the company that have lots of shares. And so just like we've seen with Circle, just like we've seen with others, I am expecting BitGo to have a significant pullback. And it can run up. I mean, some of these stocks as they go public will have a pump or a pop. They're an orchestrated day one pop by the investment bankers that bring these companies public. So BitGo, I'm staying away from, but I like to see it. I like to see the trend. We're going public. Absolutely love it. But I've talked about how Ripple was going to have the largest IPO in the history of the world. I've been saying that for a couple years now. And it's because Saudi Aramco, their valuation was $25.6 billion when they went public. And if you just look at Ripple's holdings of XRP, you're talking about $80 to $100 billion, maybe more, worth of XRP. So the net asset value of their XRP alone is multiples of the highest valuation, the highest IPO, Saudi Aramco. And so that's been interesting to watch. But there was one little company that we've been watching out for that we knew could have a larger IPO than Ripple, and that would be SpaceX. SpaceX is set to hire Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley to lead its IPO in 2026 per the Financial Times. The IPO is expected to be valued as much as $1.5 trillion, making it the largest IPO in history. Now that's quite a leap. From $25.6 billion Saudi Aramco, I forget the date when they went live with that one, to now $1.5 trillion. 25 billion, 1.5 trillion. That's quite a jump. And I haven't done the math on it yet, but I might do this for a future video. I'd like to take a look at the math on what would the price of XRP need to be for Ripple's net asset value of their XRP to be worth, 1.5, what is it? 1.5 trillion. Yeah. 1.5 trillion. How much does XRP need to be worth for Ripple's bag of XRP to be worth that much? It's not that much. It's not that much. Maybe you guys can do the mental math for me in the chat down below. But interesting, and we love to see it, guys. It's just like I said earlier, even if you're not in silver or gold, you got to respect the pump. Even if you're not invested in SpaceX, you got to respect the pump, the liquidity, the growth that we're seeing in these markets. Right? Eventually, it'll find its way back to real utility. Right? Is BitGo worth 20 billion? Is SpaceX worth 1.5 trillion? There's a big discrepancy between when you look at companies like Ripple, they're being valued at 40 billion. That most recent raise that they did with Citadel at a $40 billion valuation, that's discounting their assets basically in half. That's an incredible arbitrage opportunity, if you ask me. That's a discounted value of a company if I've ever seen one, right? And that's not even talking about XRP going to 5, 10, 20 bucks, right? Now, speaking of XRP, let's get into the crypto part of tonight's update. You can run an XRP node with something as small as something that fits in your hand, like this Raspberry Pi. No barriers, decentralized, low cost to participate, open and borderless finance for everyone. Let's take a look here. This is Vet, one of our validators on the XRP ledger. And I just love, and this is a big part of confusion and FUD that has been spread against XRP for so long. These people that say, this is a banker's coin, this is centralized. It's just not true. Ripple only runs one validator on the default UNL list. The 35 validators that get to vote on amendments, that get to move the ledger forward. Ripple has one of those validators. So no, XRP ledger is not centralized. Yes, Ripple is the biggest holder of XRP, but you have to distinguish between XRP holdings and the XRP ledger. It's completely decentralized, completely permissionless, all the way open source with additional programmability and amendments that are being brought to the ledger as we speak. And if you want to, you could fire up a node with something that small. You don't need a big warehouse and infrastructure to run a node on the XRP ledger. It is absolutely decentralized. But as I title this update tonight, BlackRock, BNY, and Ripple are all bullish. And my question to you, excuse my French, is why the hell are you not bullish? Let's run the clips. This is from the World Economic Forum. Larry Fink from BlackRock.
I think the movement towards tokenization is necessary. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization by reducing more fees if we had all investments on a tokenized platform that you could move from a tokenized money market fund to equities and bonds and back and forth.
I do think the first poster child of tokenization is really stable coins. You saw, as Brian observed, massive growth last year. At Ripple, we very much focused on building the bridges between traditional finance, as Bill was describing, what we now call TradFi, and decentralized finance. And that has meant working with a lot of the banks around the world to kind of build those bridges.
I think tokenization is a huge one. I'm talking with probably a dozen governments about tokenizing some of their assets, because this way the government can actually realize the financial gains first and use that to develop those industries, extractions, trading markets, etc.
I think
So that would be BlackRock. And I love that he was talking about ridding the corruption in markets right in front of Citadel Securities' Ken Griffin. That was pretty funny. But that's BlackRock and how bullish they are. Here's BNY CEO Robin Vince at Davos. We're bullish on digital assets. Let's run the clip.
We're excited. We're excited about AI. We're excited about digital assets. We're excited about innovation. We're excited about our people. And all of that is for serving our customers. And so you can feel that in the halls of the company today. And that's a fun thing.
Robin, we always appreciate talking to you. We appreciate you being here on set with us, too.
It's great.
And so you have BNY there, and BNY was actually at Ripple's Swell conference as well too. Sorry, that clip was a little bit quiet, so my apologies if you weren't able to hear that one. But I mean, basically the quote is very simple. It was only a 17-second clip there. We're bullish on digital assets. We're rolling out our plan. We're done with the proof of concept and the testing. We're going live with products now. And the thing that I got wrong was thinking that the Clarity Act was going to get passed in 2025. It did not. But we still had these institutions and banks lifting the veil on their plans for crypto, which was one of my big predictions for 2025, is that we were going to see behind the curtain that all of these banks and institutions would have to come on out and admit that, yes, we've been researching blockchain for decades. Yes, we've been rolling out proof of concepts and testing for this go live moment that we're preparing for. And the only thing that I got wrong there was Clarity Act didn't pass in 2025. And that was part of the reason why our bull run fell short in 2025 for digital assets. But we line them up here. BlackRock, BNY, Binance, Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. I mean, Brad's out here at Davos at the World Economic Forum saying that he expects the crypto market to hit a new all-time high, and institutional adoption is not priced in by the market as much as he expected. Just to simply put this, retail is going to get left behind, right? There's a lot of people that are just going to get left behind in this moment. You're seeing the same thing on gold and silver. And I was telling this to my dealer today, at the local gold and silver shop. And I'm telling my guy, man, I thought that gold was expensive at $2,000 per ounce. And I was trying to buy as much of this under $50 as I could. But the jump from 30 to 90 just happened so quickly. Same thing with XRP. Right? I thought buying XRP at 50 cents was expensive. And even buying right now at $1.88 yesterday, I add to my bags. It's a little more expensive than the rest of my bag and what I wanted to be picking up XRP at. But just looking at the timeline and where we're at, looking at these institutions that are lifting the veil on their plans and they're bullish, right? And with the sentiment this low and retail capitulating and leaving at a rapid pace, to me, I take a step back and I say, okay, this is where we're at in the PSYOP. Where we're at in the crypto PSYOP is past thinking that Bitcoin's going to free us all, right? That was the early stage of crypto, right? Is thinking that Bitcoin was going to be the end all be all, that it was freedom, that it was sovereign, and that it was going to be the answer to the problems that we face here. Right, that was the early stage of the PSYOP. This current stage of the PSYOP is getting you out, right? At a time when you should still be coming in, right? As the veil's being lifted and they're saying, yeah, we're going all in on digital assets. We're going to tokenize all these markets. The chairman of the SEC, see, it's the regulators, it's the bankers, the biggest asset manager in the world is on the edge of his seat bullish. But Joe Blow 69 commenting in the chat below is going to tell me that it's time to be bearish. Pick your fighter. And I'm not saying that you need to be friends with any of these guys or root for them or be a fan of President Trump, of Larry Fink, of Brad Garlinghouse. They're out to get theirs too. Make no mistake about it. We're just hopping on board the train with them. And I think it's going to be a fatal mistake for people's portfolio. It's a shame that so many people are not paying attention right now and think that they have a lot more time than they do. It's just like I thought that I had more time to buy gold at 2,000. I thought that I had more time to buy silver under $50. And this market has a way of humbling you. Sometimes, by beating you up down to the downside, and also sometimes by moving faster than you can grasp the opportunity. And so I covered it in this morning's update. I showed this chart right here, XRP traders showing major FUD, which usually is a rally starter. And you take a look at this chart, it's the same thing every time, where retail sentiment goes down below this fear zone, and that's the buy signal. We got it on January 2nd, right at the start of the new year. And just think of what the market makers did to us, right? We're all cheerleading. XRP is going to pump in 2025. We have at least a $5 XRP, at least a $10 XRP. Maybe XRP is going to do something crazy in 2025. What do the market makers do? Smack us up, close off the year at $1.82 to get you to capitulate, to get you to sell off those bags of the fundamental utility digital assets that will run the new financial system. Right before the liquidity cycle turns back up, the business cycle opens back up, and by extension, we see that correlation with the business cycle when it goes into expansion. That's when we see our crypto go into a bull run as well, an alt season with more breadth, right? Not just Bitcoin and XRP topping out, but you might be able to get some exit liquidity on your crap coin too, right? And we're going to see where the rubbers meet in the road on all of these projects. That's the beauty of this moment right here. There will be no more excuses about lack of regulation, lack of certainty in these markets. Once this Clarity Act passes, once we have the rules of the road, you won't be able to have those excuses anymore. Either you have institutional adoption, either you have momentum, or you don't. And you're on the trajectory to, RIP. It was nice knowing you. It was a good run. Time to hang it up. Just like Brad Garlinghouse says, 99% of crypto goes away. See, I don't try to be smarter than Brad Garlinghouse, Larry Fink, BNY. This is why I listen to everything that these guys put out. They have more data, more resources, and the smartest algorithms in the world at their disposal. And so when Brad Garlinghouse is telling me that 99% is going away, I believe that. When Brad Garlinghouse says that new all-time highs are coming this year, I believe that. And when Larry Fink is saying that cryptocurrencies are going to transcend traditional currencies, I believe that. When SEC Chair Paul Atkins says that all markets will be tokenized, I believe that. I don't believe Joe Blow 69 in my comments that tells me now it's time to give up on crypto and XRP's a crap coin. I'm sorry if that's you. Now, as I show here on the chart, it's just clear as day. When retail sentiment's this low, we buy and let it run. That's when it went up to 240. Then on January 7th, we got the sell signal as the sentiment went above the greed zone. Okay, market came back down. And then we got another little bounce up to 220. That was on the week January 14th. But right before that, January 11th and January 13th, we got the sell signal. And look at this sentiment on this chart, right? It went above the price of XRP substantially. And this is why we get this data in front of you guys so that you can understand this. But where are we at right now? January 18th, January 20th, and 21st, the buy signal arrives on XRP. And I bought it at $1.88. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. So we're about to go rapid fire with it after I plug in our sponsor. That would be iTrust Capital. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you're looking to get support for rolling over your 401k to an IRA with iTrust Capital so you can get exposure to crypto and precious metals with your retirement funds, they are ready to help you today. It's $0 on your monthly and annual fees, no startup or exit fees. Not a problem there. 1% on the transaction fee for cryptocurrency, 125 over spot for gold, and 395 over spot for silver. They partner up with the Royal Canadian Mint. If you want physical delivery of the precious metals, you can get it sent to your house from them. And so I partnered up with them because it's two birds, one stone. We get access in our retirement accounts to precious metals and cryptocurrency. The other product that I really like with iTrust Capital that they've rolled out is the Premium Custody Account, which is an account that has a closed loop system, and you can't pull crypto out of it, which is a hindrance and something to be aware of, but it's all done by design to keep your funds secure. So after I've heard countless dozens of stories of people losing six figures, and I mean, the tally has to be millions of dollars worth and millions of XRP that's been stolen and scammed from the XRP community. That's not possible with the Premium Custody Account with iTrust Capital. You have the closed loop system, and the only way to get anything out of the account is dollars to your bank account. So we love the products that they're rolling out. They're also working on some returns, some sort of yield on ROUSD. That should be here soon. And then furthermore, they're also looking at ways for us to be able to earn on our XRP while we're holding that as well too. They've already rolled out ways to earn on your Bitcoin. You can stake your Ethereum or Solana in that retirement account or in the PCA, either one. And so we're very happy to be partnered up with them. Now, with that being said, we're going to go rapid fire Q&A with it. XRP is trading at $1.91 as we record this update. Where are you guys at with the comments, with the questions? Appreciate you guys for stopping by here tonight. God bless you all. Zach, can you do a multiplier on silver? There's really no way to track that data. I mean, I might be able to pull in some stuff on like specific ETFs for silver, but to be able to have that, you need something that aggregates all of the inflows onto gold or silver. And I don't even know if that's possible, because you're talking about needing to aggregate the data, collect the data from local dealers. I don't think that it's possible to get a multiplier on silver. My dealer today, my local dealer, he said that $150 silver this year and $8,000 per ounce gold is very possible. Obviously in the business, so take it with a grain of salt. But there's many other analysts and experts as well too that are saying that we still have a long ways to go on gold and silver. Zach, do you have a team? Yes, I have a small team around me. Great group of folks. Blessed to have so many great contributors in our Discord group as well too. Incredible legal professionals around me. Precious metals dealers. I got my own personal broker at Caleb & Brown, just like you guys do. So I all I do is surround myself with professionals, and we're happy to pay the money and the fees to have the best. Absolutely. I'm not looking for the cheapest option. I'm looking for the best. And so that's why we partnered up. If you guys need any legal or estate planning done, just go to my website, zachrector.com. In the community resources tab, you'll find the legal and estate planning link, and you can have a free interview with KKOS lawyers. They'll get you set up. Thoughts on zero knowledge proofs? Yeah. Massive Stellar just added zero knowledge proofs, and it's coming to the XRP ledger right now as well too. Am I friends with Coach Ty? I know who that is, but no. How many XRP do you need to have to put in your sponsor? So iTrust Capital is my only sponsor. All the other resources are just affiliates, but I do like to be transparent about that. And iTrust Capital, the minimums over there, I don't know if they have any minimums. I know with Caleb & Brown, it's $500 trades. You can set up an account for free, but all of your trades, the minimum has to be $500 at Caleb & Brown. So Caleb & Brown's not for trading $20 around. But I'm over there with the biggest amount of my XRP holdings at Caleb & Brown because they're the best with finding liquidity, providing transparent fees, and having no withdrawal limits and no withdrawal fees. So if you're trying to move 5, 6, 7 figures, That's why we send you to Caleb and Brown. They're going to be straight up with you. A lot of these exchanges are not straight up with you. And we're looking for that in our relationships. Okay? What is ZKP? That's zero knowledge proof. It allows you to basically, the best example I heard, it's so simple and easy to understand. You show your ID at the club, right? The bouncer gets to look at all of your credentials, your height, your weight, your eye color, your address, everything. What does the bouncer actually need though? Just your age. So zero knowledge proofs allows you to just give the credential that you need to give, and it protects everything else. So you tell the bouncer, yep, I'm 21, but you don't get to see the rest of my information. That's the dummy version of zero knowledge proofs. Is 5,000 XRP enough for iTrust Capital? Yes. $1,000 is the minimum deposit in iTrust. Yep, that sounds right. I think that is correct. Yep, sorry, I should be brushed up on the minimums for iTrust. We just started working with them at the end of the year. But guys, we're just rolling rapid fire right now, so drop those comments and questions down below. Please help us out by liking this video, sharing it out far and wide. We got to run up the chat right now and get more people here. There's no reason why our space should be as dead as it is right now. It's a shame how many folks are going to get left behind. So let's do what we can to spread the word. Okay? Who you got on this weekend's games? I don't even know who's playing this weekend. What are we talking about? Football? Basketball? I just started watching sports again just to show my kids basketball. Got them a Nerf hoop. And so we're getting some shots up. We're putting in a little bit of work. And I'm having a lot of fun with that, actually. But I like to watch college basketball. The pros are drama queens. The basketball that's being played in the NBA is not my favorite. I like college basketball a lot better. Thoughts on SWE? Tokenomics are bad. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna stay away from SWE. I've always stayed away from SWE. I'm gonna continue to stay away from SWE. We just passed it with Canton. I bought a big bag of Canton. I bought Canton and Zebeki on Caleb and Brown. And Canton just passed SWE briefly. I don't think that it is above it right now, but SWE VC token, pump and dump, tokenomics are terrible, lack of institutional adoption. And I have it on my spreadsheet that I've shared with my Discord group on my coin reviews. So that's why I know right off the top of my head why I am going to stay away from it. Let's go Dolphins. Are the Dolphins playing? I know it is playoffs, but I don't know who's playing. Will ZBCN hit 10 cents? No, not this year. Messiah says Velo. Yeah, I've been looking. I need to do Velo. A lot of people have been requesting Velo. Yep. You're from Washington. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Seahawks are in the playoffs. I don't like the Seahawks. I'm a Packers fan. I'm a Packers fan. But I don't even know who's on the Packers anymore. I know the quarterback's Jordan Love. Is Mike McCarthy even still the coach? I don't know. After Rodgers left, I've been out of the loop. I'm out of the loop. I'm completely ignorant. I have family from Wisconsin, and that's our connection to the Green Bay Packers. What do you think of iHODL? I don't know. I've never heard of it. Silver's rocking it, absolutely. Uniswap, nah. No. Zach, time for some multiplier. The reason why we haven't seen a big multiplier on the inflows from the ETFs is it's all been OTC, which was the big caveat that I've been warning about. When we were doing the math on what the ETF inflows could do, we said, hey, if these all are OTC inflows, you're not going to see an immediate impact on price. Now, eventually you will, because eventually it leads to supply shock. And eventually the OTC, here's the other thing. I'm going to make a video on this. It's on my list of upcoming videos. Maybe I'll make it tomorrow. Ripple's going to stop selling XRP. That's not being priced in. Not enough people understand that. I'm going to say it again. Ripple, at some point down the road, is going to completely stop selling XRP. Nobody's ready for that. Nobody's ready for that. Nobody's pricing that in. And I've heard whispers through the grapevine that this goes all the way up to the top brass and their plans for XRP. They don't want to keep selling XRP. They're going to stop selling XRP. And that's when the OTC will find out. That's when the dark pools will find out. Now it might not happen this year. I'm not even suggesting that it will happen this year. But eventually, and for me, I'm just preparing for 2030. My mindset, my time frame on XRP and a lot of these, basically my life, my business, my investments, my family is preparation for 2030. Stack as much hard assets as possible, build out businesses that'll cash flow enough that we can work with, and stack hard assets, right, so that we can prepare for 2030 when the new system will be live. We will have had over a decade of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history being underway. And at certain points in time here, assets become more, a buying opportunity presents itself in various assets at different times. And this is why we watch all these markets. We're not just in XRP. We're not just in crypto. We've been in precious metals. We're gonna do so great in real estate. We're gonna nail it in private equity, right? But there's a time and a season. These things are changing, right? Let's go rapid fire Q&A. Clarity Act, March, April timeframe at the earliest. SWI, I already answered SWI. Tokenomics are terrible. Chainlink, no motion. I have no interest in those projects at all. Hold HBAR till 2030. I have exit targets on HBAR to sell off my entire bag. So I couldn't sit here today and say hold it all. Maybe that's the right thing for you to do. I'm just going to say what I'm doing, which is when HBAR hits my targets, I'm selling off most of my bag. Midnight, I haven't been paying attention to it. Zach, just wanted to thank you for what you do. Thank you, and God bless you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all the love. Permission domains, February 4th. It's massive. Massive. Yep. Why don't you talk about SHX? Lack of institutional adoption to talk about. We need to see more out of these projects. SHX, I own a little bag. I've already sold off most of my bag last year. We made a lot of money on SHX. I bought another bag back in. Lack of institutional adoption. There's no shot of them getting an ETF anytime soon from the looks of it. No digital asset treasury companies. But still bullish. I'm still bullish on it. But, it's one of those things. There's not much to talk about with these other projects because, we could speculate all day long. We could talk about the price movement. But at the end of the day, who's the most recent partner for SHX Stronghold? And more specifically, who's the most recent partner that's actually going to use the SHX token? And let's not beat up SHX and Stronghold. Apply that to every crypto that you have in your portfolio right now. You should be able to, with Ripple, it was that exchange, it was that bank. What was that bank that Ripple partnered up with? They just announced it yesterday. It wasn't XDC, XYZ bank, some bank, right? You guys can correct me in the chat, right? With Ripple and XRP, right off the top of our head, we can name off the most recent institutional partner that they've announced. They announced the partner today. Reese Merrick confirmed, actually. Take a look at this. As a prime example, this is what I'm talking about. You need to see these types of announcements for your project when it comes to them nailing down institutional partners. Reese Merrick, Senior Executive Officer, Managing Director for Middle East and Africa at Ripple. Our Turkish partner, Garanti, BBVA, crypto subsidiary of BBVA, is extending its custody relationship with Ripple. They'll continue to leverage our custody technology to offer their millions of retail customers secure transfers and storage for major crypto assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. This renewal is a massive vote of confidence in our joint vision for secure, compliant digital asset infrastructure. So I just showed you this as an example. This is a renewed partnership today. Yesterday, it was another bank, right? Every single week, we get a new partner from Ripple that's either coming on for RLUSD now or XRP. And people need to understand RLUSD and stablecoins are not going to replace XRP. Right? RLUSD is on the XRP ledger. It's on Ethereum. So you need Ethereum to get those transactions through over there. And you need XRP. You need an XRP wallet. You need trust lines over on the XRP ledger. To move RLUSD on either one of those networks, you either need XRP or Ethereum. There is no reality where stablecoins exist outside of a ledger. Right? That's the dollars that we use, and as we know. So this whole idea that stable coins are going to replace, the native assets of the ledgers that they run on, it's just not true. You can't use these stable coins without having the native asset of the ledger. DXC. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate the super chat there. Thank you for helping me out there, brother. Let's get that fixed right there. Dennis, thank you. DXC gives Ripple access to $5 trillion, 300 million accounts. Global bank. That's a global bank. And see, I like SHX. I like Zebeki. When I asked Simon Babakani, the CEO of Zebek, he said that a lot of basically all of their clients are under NDA. Okay. Let's get some of them to reveal themselves. Let's get some of them to come out. We'd like to see that. And he did mention he actually did mention one example of a charter school in California that was using the Zebek payroll. So he did mention one. Right. But this is a criticism that I've had of our entire space. All these other cryptos. And we just asked one question. Who's using the token? Yeah, I get that you did a test. I get that you did a fireside chat. I get that you're friends. I get that you got the token listed on a tier 2 exchange. Who is using the token? You ask that one question to 99% of crypto projects, zip, zilch, nothing is the response. Stu, good to see you, brother. For diapers, Zach, natural ones, of course. The only thing better than a 1 kilogram silver bar. Should have been stacking diapers too, huh? Those have gone up in price. Stacking diapers, stacking silver, and stacking XRP. That's what we call generational wealth right there. I was laughing with my wife, we're starting all over again. My daughter and my son, they've grown up so quickly. They sleep all through the night. We kind of got a control of them. Sometimes it feels like we don't got control of them. You know how it goes with the toddlers and the young ones. But for the most part, you feel like you're in control of life again, right? And we're going to start all back over again with the baby, with the youngin'. But no, it's an absolute blessing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stronghold was a sponsor at the World Economic Forum. That's great. And that's what I'm talking about. You want to see that, but we need to see more. Who at the World Economic Forum is using the Stronghold token? That's what I want to know. Right? There's there's people attending the World Economic Forum that are partnered up with Ripple, right? And that's the difference. Zach, what was the single best thing you heard come out of the World Economic Forum? I honestly have only listened to Brad's segments that he gave. I've listened to a few other interviews. I think that we had a really strong representation from the United States of America. Even Jamie Dimon came out and spoke out against raising taxes, which was very refreshing. And the moderator of, the person interviewing him was like trying to cut him off, and he kept going. So, not that I love Jamie Dimon at all, not a fan, but I did appreciate what he had to say there. And I think that the big takeaway for me is that it just confirms that we're in the right spot, in the right investments. Right? The one asset class, the one thing that I'm missing is I don't have any investments in AI. Right? So that's where I'm falling short right now when it comes to my portfolio. I have no exposure to AI. I don't own any stocks. I definitely don't own any AI cryptos. I think a lot of those aren't going to make it, don't have real utility. You don't need the token. But, in that regard, this is why I'm going to the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, because I might not be buying NVIDIA, but I might buy, the copper company. I might buy a silver miner, a copper miner, right? That's getting out these resources, a cobalt miner, right? There's going to be hundreds of companies in the room there, and I'm going to be taking a look at them as an opportunity to have exposure indirectly to the AI play. Right? You don't necessarily need to buy, an AI token or NVIDIA, but there's second and tertiary effects of the AI play. And so all of that to say, AI, blockchain, when you just look at these trends and these shifts, it confirms for us that we're in the right assets. I would add precious metals and critical resources, critical minerals to that as well too. So AI, blockchain, critical minerals, precious metals, how do those all play a part in the fourth industrial revolution? That was the big takeaway, and that's what's getting confirmed at the World Economic Forum. In the past couple of days, Monica and Brad confirming adoption and all-time high are this year. We got this. That's why I titled the episode, BlackRock, BNY, and Ripple are bullish. Very simple title, straight to the point. Not clickbait, never is. I always back it up. And my question for Joe Blow 69 in the chat is, why the heck are you still bearish? I'm going to go for 7 more minutes here. I'm going to wrap it up at the hour. How about Flare? A little bit of a play. How would a Japanese interest rate raise tomorrow after affect crypto? I don't think that they're going to raise. I think that they're going to leave rates unchanged, and I would expect the markets to react positively to that. If they raise rates, then we'll have trouble. And we'll know in a few hours. We should know in a few hours what the Bank of Japan interest rate decision is. I'm going to refresh my X just real quick just to check and make sure that we haven't gotten it yet. Silver futures at $100 per ounce. Kansas to create a digital asset reserve fund. No Bank of Japan interest rate decision yet. Their inflation eases to 2.1% before key bank meeting. Okay. So it's 2.9% in November, comes down to 2.1% in December. Zach, thanks for the acknowledgement. You look stressed, bro. Take another sip of your adult beverage. We love you. I'm out. No, appreciate it. It's all good. My only frustration right now is just knowing how people are going to come back around with regret. I just know how much regret our community is going to have. Not necessarily so much our community, just as other people that are going to come to our community later this year. Like, we're going to grow our platform and our community massively this year. Our community that's already here and tapped in is going to win tremendously. Not worried about that. But I am, frustrated and I am saddened by just how many people will miss this. And I was having a conversation with my aunt. She was wondering, what do you do for work? What do you actually do for work, right? And I was explaining to her, what I do in crypto and everything. And I was trying to get the message across that this is not just gambling and speculation. And we need to spread this message out to people around us, whether it be, family, whether it be colleagues, business partners. We need to be prepared when people ask us, to explain that this is not an asset that we are just randomly gambling and speculating on. This is not taking $50 to the casino this weekend. This is investing 5% of your investable assets, your net worth, in this space at least. Think if Bank of America is saying 4% allocation, and you're still on zero? See, this is where we can now direct them. Your family member, your wife might think you're an idiot for investing in crypto. And you can tell her, honey, you don't got to take it from me. Take it from BlackRock. Take it from BNY. Take it from Jamie Dimon and the largest institutions in the world that are now legitimatizing cryptocurrency, digital assets. Take it from them. Take it from Bank of America that's now saying 4%. And she might say, well, honey, you went in 90%. And you say, yes, we did, but we picked the right assets. And she might say, well, you picked a few crap coins too, didn't you? And don't lie to your significant other. You tell her the truth. And you say, yes, honey. I did lose some money on some crap coins on the XRP ledger. And I'm going to be reporting actually on the prediction market. Yeah, I've said this about the meme coins, that I don't trade meme coins. I don't care for them, except if they're on the XRP ledger. Then, okay, we'll have a little bit of fun. But if I lose, I lose, and I take full accountability. I'm not going there to expect to win. That is going to the casino money for me. Right? The expectation is I'm going to lose this $50 on this meme coin. Just like if I went to the casino, I'm going to lose $100 at the craps table. Same thing. Now, a significant portion of my net worth and my family's net worth being in XRP, that's not a gamble at all. Right? It is a speculative investment, sure. But it's backed by fundamentals. But I've said this about the memes. I don't care for the memes or trading the memes, but I have done some of the meme trading on the XRP ledger. The prediction markets, I haven't done any prediction markets. I don't do any sports betting, but I'm going to check out this prediction market on the XRP ledger. I do like this. I want the activity on the XRP ledger. When the memes were blowing up, I said, hey, it might be stupid. It might be silly. Some people are going to get wrecked. But if they're going to be a degenerate somewhere, let them do it on the XRP ledger, where they're locking up more XRP, they're burning more XRP, and they're bringing more attention to XRP. if you're going to be degenerate and do prediction markets, come do it on the XRP ledger. So I'm going to report back on the new prediction market. I haven't tried it out yet, but it does look cool. You can do sports, you can do events. I saw there's a few events. It's still very new, but it looked very easy, very seamless to set up. And I'm just a fan of utility and activity on the ledger. Whether it's something that I would gamble on or not, I like that it's taking place. The Bank of Japan held its policy steady. Okay, Messiah, thank you for sharing that, brother. So it looks like Japan held rates. Let's check that. The other thing that could spook the markets is we are sending a big fleet and a lot of heavy equipment to Iran. Okay. Just in, Bank of Japan. Markets expect them to hold it steady. CNBC, boom. Messiah, thank you, brother. Messiah's in our Discord group. Drops a lot of value in there. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Bank of Japan raises economic growth forecast ahead of snap election, holds rate at 75 basis points. So no change on rates, no reaction to the markets right now. So it'll take time for this news to spread, obviously hitting at 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 11 o'clock Eastern. And so the markets will open up tomorrow morning. We'll get to see a reaction to this. But I anticipate it to be a positive reaction to this. Yeah. So our market should be moving back up. Okay. I picked up 38% returns on rare earth company stocks today. There you go. There you go. That's what we're looking for up at Vancouver this weekend. Oh, yeah, it's getting cold out there, isn't it? What's the temperature where you live right now? It got down to 28, I think 28, 29. So it got a little chilly, but nothing too extreme where I'm at. We're pretty soft up here in the Pacific Northwest. We're very soft. But I saw the rest of the country and Canada. Ungodly temperatures. Crazy. -50. -50. That's crazy. Yeah, 17 degrees in Ohio. -35 in Minnesota. Wow. Stu says 90 degrees in tropical OZ. There you go. 50 in Vegas. There you go. By the way, guys, I saw that Brad Kimes gave us a little 589 special. XRP Las Vegas. I hadn't even seen that till this weekend that he was running that special. Somebody had mentioned that in our Discord group. And then I realized that they extended it, I think, till the end of this month. So I'm excited. XRP Las Vegas, it's going to be at the Paris Hotel right there on the Strip. We had a great brunch at the, it's some like, I want to say it had like egg in the name, some sort. But it's some brunch place at the Paris. Took wifey there last year. Fantastic brunch. Fantastic. I forget what the name of it was called, but anyways, Paris, very nice hotel. And the tickets for XRP Las Vegas are on sale right now, I believe, at $589, which is cheaper than what they were last year. Yeah. So great deal, great value, great opportunity to get around the XRP family and connect with so many of our partners and resources in the community. So yeah, very excited to, I'll be reporting from at home. I unfortunately won't be able to make it to XRP Las Vegas this year. We're going to stay home for the first half of this year with our newborn baby. So we're going to be taking Vegas off this year, but otherwise I'd be there. You already know that. That's a must. That's a must to celebrate with the XRP family. Yeah, it's always a good time. So take a look at that. Other than that, everything is at our website, zachrector.com. I'm going to wrap this one up here, but make sure you guys have subscribed and hit that notification bell. This weekend on Sunday and Monday, we are going to be reporting from the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. I have Chris and Maya from Fruition Films coming up. Going to be my film crew, and I'm very excited. We're going to be recording interviews, podcasts all weekend long, bringing you content. Won't be able to bring the live streams as much. Maybe we'll go live on TikTok some. Maybe we'll try firing up a little live stream. We'll see how good the internet connection is there. But looking forward to reporting from Vancouver this weekend. And otherwise, we will see you guys tomorrow as we see how the markets react to the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, which is leaving rates unchanged where they sit today. So if you appreciate what we do here, please help us out by liking this video, sharing it out far and wide. If you are XRP family and you are coming to Vancouver, come find me. I may have some XRP family merch. I may toss you a hat. I may have a little something for you. So come find me up in Vancouver. We'll have a booth reporting from the conference. It's going to be a great time. Appreciate all of your support. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all.